Everything I'm going to present to you in this video relating to the Bitcoin bottom, the crypto bear market bottom, I present to you with a great deal of humility. Right now, when we zoom out on these crypto charts and we try and identify where we are in the cycle, where the bottom is, one thing is clear, no one knows. But one thing is even more clear. Historical data and context within the entire financial markets lends itself as such a valuable tool in determining where the bottom likely is. In this video, I'm going to break down the Bitcoin charts and tell you exactly where I think the Bitcoin bottom is. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you for coming by. Let's just jump into the Bitcoin video. Everybody, this is Bitcoin on the zoomed out chart. I mean, this is going back. You can see all the way back here. This is the bear market low of 2015. Look at the early days of Bitcoin. All the way back there, just parabolic. These macro cycles of Bitcoin. All-time high, and then a crazy 80% plus dip to the downside. Now, I want to break down the charts, and I've been covering multiple facets of these charts for a while now. There's all of these moving parts to what Bitcoin is doing right now and where we are in the cycle. But I want to actually in this video tell you exactly where I think Bitcoin could actually bottom, and I want to explain exactly why. For context to this, I first want to start from a clip from a video from December 2021 when Bitcoin was around $48,000. And this is what we're looking at. So it's a very similar Fibonacci 786 to 618 range right here. And it's in that $28,000 to $17,000 range. And in that whole area is accumulation zone, on the heavy accumulation zone. Below that 786 is just ridiculous. Not even sure it'll get there. We're in a different environment than we were last bear market, everybody. Below the 786, for just quick reference, here we are. This is where the 786 line is right here. It's around 17,000. You can see Bitcoin has fallen since I did that video over 60% basically to this swing low, not exactly hitting the 786, but falling into this entire Fibonacci channel that I talked about. I want to be extremely clear right now. I don't show those videos to be like, look at me, I predicted it, because at the same time, I was probably doing videos talking about if Bitcoin were to go to the upside. We were probably tracking targets to the upside, but that's the purpose of my YouTube channel. It's the purpose of why I do technical analysis. The wisdom that's found in analysis has nothing to do with predicting. So when I show these videos, it's more of an education tool. I want to take context of these tools and these indicators that we've been using and show you how well they work. That's all I'm doing. This is just data. That wasn't me predicting something because I'm special and it's just something amazing that I did. It's data. It's just taking historical data, plotting it out and saying, hey, here's a real scenario. Let's get ready for it. And that's what I was doing in that video. And that's what I do in all my videos. So when we're looking at this Bitcoin chart, we fell to the area. What's interesting for me is right now we're in this mass Fibonacci channel. And I think in that video I mentioned it's like a heavy accumulation area. But right now with the state of the markets, it's interesting how my mindset has changed. I've been accumulating crypto, but I can't say I've been like heavy accumulating, as I might have said in that video, because with the state of just where we are with inflation and interest rates and these things that we're just constantly talking about all the time, they're in the headlines every week, jobs data coming out, all of this crazy data coming out, where we are on the timeline, I'm not convinced that the bottom is in. I'm just not, right? So when it comes to heavy accumulation, below the 786, as history tells us, seems to be the best play. And it might never get there, but I want to discuss why I think it could. One of those reasons is because what we just talked about, the landscape of financial markets in general on a global scale. There's so many moving parts I'm not going to get into in this video, but that's a huge reason why I think the bottom is not in and we can very much go lower. If equity markets go lower, which they very well could, and I think is extremely likely, Bitcoin's probably going lower. Put that aside for a second and let's look at the Bitcoin charts. You see this right here, 35% to the downside. This takes us to where if I had to do a prediction, I would predict Bitcoin could bottom. And that's in the $11,000 area. So if we go to the weekly chart on Bitcoin, it's the zoomed out weekly. It's very simple. This macro Fibonacci in green, this channel that you see here, right here in green that we talked about, is the exact same Fibonacci retracement that we fell into back here. Now, this chart, I actually charted back in, and I'm going to bring it up for you right now. I charted this chart back in 2018. And there was no data on the screen that showed where Bitcoin was at the time, right? Or where it was going at the time. But you can just see the trajectory. I had 90,000 and back down to a key Fibonacci area. Now, the move played out. And here's what the move looks like on the daily chart. It just went to not $90,000, but we got this parabolic move into the bull market to around 70,000 and all the way back down to the Fibonacci channel. This is because this is what historically Bitcoin has done. And we're going to focus on continuing to utilize that data until it breaks. But this cycle, it has held up true. I did that video in 2018, or I did that chart in 2018, and it held true. Now, if we dig further into the data, here's what has happened. In the 2018 bear market low back here, you can see Bitcoin at the 786 line. It bottomed around 26% below the 786 line. It was that final capitulation below the area. And then if you scroll all the way back to 2015 bear market low, you can see Bitcoin bottomed actually 47% in a mass capitulation below the 786 line. So if we take the average of those two previous bear market lows and we see what they did below the 786 line, we could anticipate a potential bottoming out of around 35% if we took the average. And I just think that's the safest number to use. $11,000 Bitcoin is around where we could see Bitcoin if it kind of history repeats itself. There's one alternative play here. You notice how in 2015, it was 40% plus below the 786. And then back here in 2018, it was only 26% below. Maybe there is a pattern there with Bitcoin just seeing less capitulation below the 786. So maybe it won't be even 26% below the 786. Potentially this market, it could be 10% below the 786, and that could lead us to around a $15,000, $16,000 Bitcoin. Maybe that's a case. Maybe that's a scenario. Either way, in my mind, I'm anticipating, just as I anticipated in this video in December when Bitcoin was $48,000 falling down to the 786, I'm still here using the same exact data, and I'm anticipating Bitcoin with the current state of the world and the markets. I'm anticipating Bitcoin to fall below the 786 line. And I think for me right now, that would be a mass indicator, not only just for Bitcoin. I use Bitcoin as kind of this roadmap for me, but that would be a mass indicator in terms of altcoins and in terms of just my general approach to crypto accumulation if Bitcoin were to fall below that 786 line. So call it $11,000, call it $15,000, whatever you want to call it. I think there's room for Bitcoin to fall below the 786 line. And I think we still have some time left in this bear market. I did a video not long ago. I'll put a link in the description talking about how long the crypto winter could last. And we're just kind of in the middle of it. And we have to just be patient. And according to our own financial situations, we have to make our own decisions. And that's the point, everybody. This is data. I'm sharing with you my crypto journey, what I see on these crypto charts, but it is absolutely not financial advice. I hope for you the best, that you can take this data, and I hope it's valuable for you to sit back and kind of just visualize all of these scenarios we talk about and make your decisions that help you feel comfortable in these crypto markets. So this is the data at a very simple level. And what I'm thinking on Bitcoin. Let me know your thoughts below. I really appreciate you coming by. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.